Hi guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please do subscribe. I hope everyone is having a good weekend and had a good Friday night. Right, I came back from the hospital yesterday, Medway Maritime Hospital, Windmill Road, Gillingham, and I came back in a taxi paid for by the hospital because I've been having quite severe period pains, and they provided me a taxi because G4S would not provide me a hospital transport, right? That's why. If G4S had provided me transport, I would have gone up in what I went up when I had a blood transfusion, like a ambulance type vehicle, but they wouldn't provide vehicle assistance, so Medway Maritime Hospital paid for a taxi for me, and I really appreciate that because I was having some really bad pelvic pain yesterday, and also it saves me getting two buses back, because you've got to get from the Medway Maritime Hospital to Rochester, you've got to get two buses. So I would have had to have either walked, or if I'd have had the money, take a bus from the hospital to Chatham Town Centre and then get a bus from Chatham bus station to Gloucestershire, Rochester railway station, just because there's a bus stop just opposite the Rochester railway station. So I'm very grateful for the hospital doing that for me. So today I've got up, I've still got pelvic pain, but I've been told what it is. It's endometritis, which can be extremely painful, and they've told me that the Marina coil should be able to fix that. Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 8:55 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Saturday the 4th of February.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Right now in Rochester, it's 8 degrees Celsius with mostly cloudy skies. Today's forecast has cloudy skies, with a high of 10 degrees and a low of 4 degrees. Would you also like tomorrow's weather?
Yes.
Tomorrow in Rochester, it looks like there will be intermittent clouds, with a high of 8 degrees Celsius and a low of 0 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a comic relief joke?
To support comic relief, I've got some jokes from some of the UK's best loved celebs. Here's a joke from Greg James.
Knock knock. Who's there? Cash. Cashew. No thank you, I'm allergic to nuts.
Can I tempt you to another joke?
Yes.
Okay. Here's a joke from Vicky Patterson.
Why was the sand wet? Because the seaweed. Oh, I'm so immature.
No comment. Want another joke?
Yes.
Okay. Here's a joke from Jay Blades.
What do you get when you cross a giraffe with a hedgehog? A 6-foot toothbrush.
You're having a giraffe. How about another joke?
No. No.
Okay. To get involved with Red Nose Day, or to buy a red nose, search Comic Relief on Amazon.
I get my red noses from Sainsbury's. I used to collect them a couple of years ago. When I lived nearer the town centre, I'd go to Sainsbury's and pick up my red noses. Right, so at the hospital there's one thing that upset me. One lady, member of staff, mentioned Arethusa in the Medway Maritime Hospital, and that was the room my father was put in at the Co-op Funeral Director's office in Chatham. He was in a room called Arethusa. It was like set out like cabins in a ship in there, and my dad was in the Arethusa room, so that upset me. Another other thing was when I was talking to the blonde lady that was the chaperone doing the scan, she called me young lady. She went, this young lady, on the to somebody. She went, this young lady, and that's what my father used to call me. Derek used to call me that when I went to visit him. When he used to be sat in the living room with my mother, he'd say, now, what's the matter now, young lady? And that's what my father Derek used to call me. He used to say, how are you, young lady? Because this is leading up to something else. Yesterday evening I was talking to someone on Facebook dating, and they don't want to meet, they just want to chat, and they're a very long chatter, so you'll get a long message. Some people just say, hello, how are you, how your day's going. This person was texting like 20 lines in a message box all last night, and they said that I look like Sandy Toksvig. And she's a comedian. Alexa, who is Sandy Toksvig?
Sandra Birgitte Toksvig OBE is a Danish-British writer, comedian and broadcaster on British radio, stage and television. She is also a political activist, having co-founded the Women's Equality Party in 2015. She has written plays, novels and books for children. In 1994, she came out as a lesbian.
Sandy Toksvig is a lesbian. I didn't know that. Alexis told me that. So somebody told me yesterday I look like Sandy Toksvig, and Sandy Toksvig has come out as a lesbian. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not against lesbians, gays. I support the LGBT community. That's nothing wrong with that. But somebody said I look like Sandy Toksvig. Now I remember Sandy Toksvig. She's 10 years older than me. I'm 54. She's 64. Sandy Toksvig is. And now I know why the person said I look like Sandy Toksvig yesterday. I didn't know she was a lesbian. Right, I knew Sandy Toksvig was older than me. I've grown up with, Rowan Atkinson and all that before, and the young ones with Rick Mail, who's now dead. I've grew up with all that, all these comedians. Alexa, how old is Sandy Toksvig?
Sandy Toksvig is 64 years old.
She's 64, so I look like Sandy Toksvig apparently. I don't mind, she's famous. That's what I said to them yesterday. I said she's famous. There's nothing wrong with looking like someone who's extremely famous. Thank you. Yesterday I took Max out later on in the evening. He's had his kids upstairs, as he does every weekend from Friday to Sunday, longer during the school holidays, and I was just ignoring it. 6:30 this morning, bang, a real loud bang on the bedroom ceiling, 6:30. A kid with heavy feet running up and down, and when the running up and down gets no reaction, they tend to stamp really hard on the ceiling, which can give someone with a weak heart quite a judder and a jolt. If you just stamp or bang out of nowhere, it can shock anyone. It can make anyone jump out of their skin. And Max, then it doesn't only affect me, it affects my cats and dog. They hide. What the fuck is that like? They hide under the sofa. And that's not a way to live. That's not a way to live, being intimidated and frightened, is it? And what annoys me is Hyde Housing can knock on my door, because this was all leading up to him having his kids round. They knock on my door, Hyde Housing, and ask me, why is there a bird bin in the communal area? This bird nuts bin. Mandy, she said, I'm Mandy. Whose is this bird nuts bin. And it's still there, and it's a fire hazard. No one does anything. So 2.5 years on, I'm still dealing with this horrific noise, which I just ignore. If you ignore them, 6:30 I was in bed, and I was awake anyway, to be honest, because I was about to go to the toilet. I get up and down night very quietly and go to the loo, and I don't flush the loo in the middle